What is time? What we call time is merely a sense of direction, a perception of movement, a notion of beginning and end. But according to Ibn Arabi, this is only the result of our limited perception. We are limited because we see one thing coming before another, one thing coming after. But for God, there is no before or after. There is no beginning, no end. It is beyond time. He gazes upon all time simultaneously, and here comes the sentence that burns the mind. Everything has already happened. This moment is only a repetition. You think you are living it, but you are living what has already occurred. This doesn't diminish you. On the contrary, it brings you closer to truth, because you are part of a divine plan. Just can't see it. We assume that time flows linearly, that we come from the past, arrive at the present, and walk toward the future. But Ibn Arabi says, time is circular, the beginning is in the end. The end is in the beginning. The secret of the universe is hidden in the circle, not in the line. Because the line gives you a direction, but the circle reveals wholeness. Everything is contained within. Everything happens at once. And the moment you realize this, you discover the freedom that exists within your destiny. Because for Ibn Arabi, destiny is not a script stolen from your hands. On the contrary, it is the plan that most perfectly fits your truth. Whatever your essence is, what befalls you reflects that. The language of your soul shapes the story you live. And this story isn't written with ink. It is written with truth. Allah knows your depths even before you do, and places in your life the perfect mirrors for your becoming. One of those mirrors is joy. Another is loss. Another is friendship. Another is betrayal. But all of them exist. To show you yourself, this is what destiny is. Destiny is not what happens to you. It is the truth hidden within what happens. But what about free will? If everything has already happened, then what am I choosing? Ibn Arabi introduces one of his most profound ideas. Will is an attribute of Allah that flows through you. You choose, but that choice aligns with your essence. You are choosing the person you were always meant to be. This is not a contradiction. It is a depth. Because freedom does not mean choosing every possible path. Freedom means choosing the one that fits you best. And wherever your essence pulls you, that is your destiny. Destiny is not a script imposed from the outside. It is the voice of your inner being. But hearing that voice is not easy. The mind wants other roads. Ambition drags you elsewhere. Fear pushes you aside. But the heart always calls you home. Ibn Arabi says your path is your essence. To stray from it is to forget who you are. This is why destiny is not a chain. Destiny is harmony with essence. And time is merely the witnessing of this harmony. What you call the future to Allah, it is not even the past, because He knows all things at once. But this knowing does not cancel your path, because God gives you will. He gives you intellect. He gives you conscience, and you walk with them. As you walk, you make choices. And as you make choices, you begin to decode your destiny. But that destiny is already written, and the writing is carved into your being. So as you walk through the world, you are reading your own soul. You think you are observing the outside world. But that world is just a reflection of your inner state, like a mirror. But that mirror doesn't show you who you are today. It shows you who you are meant to become. Ibn Arabi says, time is the manifestation of divine attributes. Each moment is ruled by a different divine name. One day, it is Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. Another day, Al-Qahar, the subduer. Another Al-Wadud, the loving. Another Al-Muntakim, the avenger. You are shaped by these names. So destiny is not just your path. It is the appearance of Allah's names within you. Every experience you live is a teaching, and that teaching becomes visible through the flow of time. But you think you are living it. In truth, everything already happened. You're only witnessing it. And as you witness, you understand. And as you understand, you return to yourself. As time flows, you think you understand. But in truth, reality is hidden outside of time.
No?
Of Ibn Arabi's greatest secrets is this: becoming is not a change. It is an awareness. In other words, You are not changing. You are always you, but you didn't realize it. What you call life is a process of awakening that reveals you to yourself. That's why time is not about transformation, but about recognition. And destiny is the book of that recognition. The Ibn Arabi, the perfected human, is the one who can read that writing. It's the one who knows their destiny and lives its depth. But how do we reach this knowledge? According to Ibn Arabi, the truth cannot be learned from the outside. It cannot be memorized or grasped by reading. That knowledge comes through cash from unveiling. An inner veil is lifted, you begin to see. When you see, time breaks because the past, the present, and the future appear to you through the same window. The one who experiences this no longer rushes, no longer fears. They no longer cling to the future because they know everything has already happened, and this knowing is not giving up. On the contrary, it is a deep surrender because you are living in harmony with your truth, and that harmony leaves peace. In the soul, this is where Ibn Arabi's understanding of destiny reaches its peak. Destiny is fixed in Allah's knowledge, but it is revealed through your inner journey. Meaning, as you walk, new paths do not appear in front of you. Those paths were always there. You are only beginning to see them. And with each vision, something inside you remembers. A feeling of this is it. A sense of this place is already familiar because truth is a part of you, and every part longs to return to its whole. This return is what Ibn Arabi calls safar. As you look, the spiritual journey within is a turning inward. But this return does not happen over time. It happens through time. Because time is a labyrinth, not designed to make you lost, but designed to lead you back to yourself. Every pain, every loss, every waiting is like a letter etched into the walls of that labyrinth. If you learn to read them, you will not be lost. That's why Ibn Arabi, when speaking about time, always speaks of the present moment. Because now is the truest form of time. There is no past. There is no future. There is only now. And now is where God is most fully present. For He is, as the Quran says, in every moment engaged in a new creation.
Ow.
Each moment holds a new becoming, a new birth, a new attribute, a new meaning. If you stay in the now, you will find Him. But if you live in the past, you will drown in regret. If you live in the future, you will burn with anxiety. That's why the now is sacred, and destiny unfolds through the now. What you call my fate is often just your current way of seeing. Change your perspective, and the path changes. When the path changes, the script is read differently. Because even if what's written appears fixed, your way of understanding it is infinite. According to Ibn Arabi, truth never changes, but its reflections constantly transform. And as you witness those reflections, you are witnessing your own inner self. This is why the Ibn Arabi, the perfected human, is one who surrenders to destiny but also recognizes it while living it. They walk, they know, they feel, they remain silent, they cry, but deep inside, a secret smiles, because they know this too shall pass, because this too was written. And what has been written is beautiful. Because the one who wrote it is beautiful. Your greatest pain is a birth, a breaking, a reconstruction, because destiny sometimes destroys in order to build. Sometimes it takes away in order to give. Sometimes it silences in order to make you hear. These divine paradoxes remove time from the ordinary and transform it into a carrier of secrets. Time is no longer just a calendar. It becomes a map, and on this map, you are not lost because your inner compass has begun to work. Ibn Arabi's final call is this: do not let time carry you away. You must observe time, because the truth is not inside time. It is inside your perception. So now, stop, look, ask, is this thing I'm living really happening now? Or am I simply living what has already happened? And from within your heart, a voice will rise. Everything had already happened. You are only remembering now. So how do we live with this wisdom? How do we walk through our days with the awareness that time is a circle, that destiny is a mirror, that every moment is both new and already written? First, we practice presence. We return again and again, to the now. When you feel lost in regret, gently remind yourself the past is a lesson, not a prison. When you feel anxious about the future, remember, the future is in God's hands, not yours. Your only task is to be present, to witness, to respond with sincerity. Second, we accept the mirrors life gives us. Every joy, every loss, every friend, every betrayal, they are all mirrors, showing us something about ourselves. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this showing me about my own soul? Third, we surrender to the flow of destiny, not as a form of giving up, but as a form of deep trust. Trust that what is written for you is written by the one who knows you better than you know yourself. Trust that even your choices are part of a greater harmony. Fourth, we cultivate gratitude. When you see your life as a book already written, you begin to notice the beauty in every page, even the painful ones. You realize that every chapter has a purpose, every line a meaning. Fifth, we seek knowledge not just from books, but from within. The greatest unveiling comes when you turn inward, when you listen to the quiet voice of your own heart, when you allow the veils to be lifted. One by one, as you walk this path, remember, you are not alone. Every seeker, every lover of truth, every heart that longs for meaning is walking with you. The journey is long, but it is also beautiful. There will be days of confusion, days of clarity, days of sorrow, and days of joy. But through it all, the circle of time keeps turning, and the story of your soul keeps unfolding. And when you reach the end of your journey, you will look back and realize you were never lost. You were always being guided. Every step, every stumble, every moment of doubt was part of the return to yourself, the return to the one. Closing reflection. So, as time flows, as you walk into the future, remember, you are not just living, you are remembering. You're reading the book of your own soul. And that book is beautiful, because the one who wrote it is beautiful. May you walk your path with presence, with trust, with gratitude, and with love. May you recognize the mirrors, embrace the now, and surrender to the wisdom of destiny. May you always remember, everything has already happened. You are only remembering now.